What's up, boys? What's up, boys? Get. All right, it's enough. Get. As I begin today's work on the camper, I would like to put something on your mind. For those of you who don't know, when I was about 15 or 16 years old, a few of my buddies and I thought it would be a good idea to take some money that wasn't ours. So we ended up getting caught, and I was sentenced to about 14 years in prison. During my prison sentence, I got involved in gangs, and I was headed further and further away from the destiny and plan that God had for my life. But along the way, I met an old convict who everyone called Mo. Mo was serving a life sentence and had been in prison longer than I had been alive. When I met Mo, he started to awaken something in me that was lying dormant. And the thing that he began to awaken in me was my faith. You see, true manhood is connected to having faith in Jesus, but I didn't have any faith at that time. So I was extremely childish and immature. And as the Bible says, when we start to follow Jesus, we put away childish things and we become men. We stop thinking, talking, and acting like children, and we put away those things to think, talk, and walk like men. So as I started to awaken my faith and my manhood, my whole life began to change. And I found this scripture in the Bible one day as I was reading and studying, and it changed my whole outlook of who I could be, and it took the limits off of what I could accomplish. Now remember, I was serving at the time a 14-year sentence in prison, and the odds for success after being labeled as a convicted felon are extremely low. But the scripture that I found was in Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 13, and it says, "It is better to be a poor but wise youth rather than an old, rich, and foolish king, because that poor but wise youth, by his wisdom, can rise from poverty and become king." Check this out. Even though he has been in prison. So even though I have made some mistakes in my life, the Lord's wisdom has opened up a few doors for me. And in return, I have become extremely successful. Everything that I put my hands and my mind to becomes gold. The Lord has given me gifts that no school or man can take credit for. I wake up one day and the Lord teaches me how to frame lumber. I wake up another day and the Lord teaches me to be a skilled electrician. So as this video rolls and you see the progress on this old, rotten, and forsaken camper, look at this camper as an example of me. I was broken just like this camper, and Jesus came and put me back together and gave me purpose. And just like he did it for me, and just like he's doing it for this camper, he can do it for you as well. Enjoy this video. It's I.A.G Farms. It's all about God. All right, y'all, it's about time for a camper update. So let me walk you around and kind of show you what all we've gotten done over the last, two and a half weeks. I know we've just had our head down and getting things done. So we've actually gotten pretty far. So let me just turn you around and walk you around and kind of just show you what we've done. All right, so I guess we'll just start on the outside, then work our way in. So first, I want to show you all this corner. As you know, this corner here from the other videos was disconnected. And we got this corner reframed and got new wood in there and got it back connected good. We've also worked on this corner up here. and it was the same way because of the rotten wood. The whole corner was disconnected. But as you see, it's back on there and it's solid. I just need the caulk, you know, the gap. It doesn't have any caulk in the seals. And let me move this toilet out the way so you can see a little bit better. But as you see that wall there, which was almost falling down, it's secure and it's solid. You know, the walls were shaking real bad because all the wood was rotten. As you see that wall there, and the door as well. This door was just falling apart, and we were actually about to scrap the door. And but you know, once we looked up the prices of the doors, you know, we decided to restore this door. And so we pretty much reframed this door, put the, you know, redid the metal and everything on the borders, and just used the, you know, glass and the middle part of the door. And this door wouldn't close at first, but now as you can see, it closes pretty easy. And I don't even have to twist it real hard or pull it to make it open. I'm just gonna twist it and opens. So closes easy without me having to slam it, and it just opens easy as well. As you see, we have it screwed in all the way around, and that's because we got it reframed in the inside. So let's walk inside and show y'all the big reveal of the inside. You know, so far, as you can see, we have new roof rafters, and some of these roof rafters, it was still good wood, so I didn't take it all the way out. I just kind of spliced into it on the end. And as you can see, let me show you a new one. As you can see, it's a 2x3, and then it gets smaller, and it goes down to, I think, 1.5 inches. So it goes from 3 inches to 1.5 inches, I believe. I think the true measurements of this it's supposed to be 3 inches, but I think it's 2.5 wide, and then it goes down to 1 inch, I believe it is. Yep. So I have new rafters all the way in. Everything is tied in tight to where now if you shake this wall on the camper, that wall over there moves. At first, you know, if you shook that wall, it just, you know, was wanting to fall down. But let me step back so I can just show you some of the framing. All of this was rotten, as you all know. I still got a little bit to do right there, but just I have small stuff to do as far as the framing. But you see, we got that all reframed. Got it reframed going all the way down that way. As you see around the door, got that whole wall over there reframed. Got it framed in around this window. As you can see, we just got new wood, new good wood. And I reframed this as well. This was actually a board, some boards that came out of the camper that was still good. And that day I ran out of lumber, so I went ahead and used that to get to complete framing that day. And as you see, we have this top board here, you know, the roof joist braced up good all the way through. Anywhere I had a break in there, I put it on top of a board. Like you say, we have good framing. Let me show you around the door. I used 2x3s around the door. They had it framed in, I think, with 1x2s, I believe, and I did 1x2s on this side. But as you see, I have 3 of them. I have them beefed up, so I have 2 here, and I have 1 on this side to beef it up a little bit, you know, so it'll be strong up here. And I probably overdid it, but you know, whoever gets this camper next after we're done with it, they'll thank me for it. But yeah, as you can see, got everything framed in, and this is why the corners are solid now, because I have good wood in on the corners now. And you know, I'm not an expert, you know, got some nice little cuts there, things I worked hard on, little details, you know, that I tried to do right. But I'm not an expert, you know, this is my first time really doing any framing, you know, really real-time framing. As you see, I tried to made some little rookie mistakes right there. You see that little gap, but I was trying to get everything to fit flush. You see, I got that one there to fit flush, and I'm learning how to cut those angles. And I think it's important for me to learn how to cut those angles, you know, as I get ready to, you know, build our next house, you know, because we're gonna be staying in the camper and either restoring resurrection cabin or building, you know, a house from a new construction house. And so I need to learn how to cut those rafters, because we're not gonna do any type of you know, custom built. We're gonna cut our rafters by our own hands. We're not gonna use you know, rafters they ship in. But let's see. So over here, I kind of left that wood there because it was mainly good. It got wet a little bit, but it didn't have any mold, and it's still solid. So you know, we might wipe it down or something like that. But as you see, I had to replace this board up here because that board was rotten and I didn't have anything to attach to. It was the same thing back here. above the and we were surprised when we tore out around the tub, because we just knew around the tub was gonna be completely rotten, and it actually was, you know, some pretty good wood back here. That was surprising, but it was rotten up there, so I replaced that board and tacked in, and, you know, braced everything up good and solid, so everything is solid. It's not moving, or at least, you know, camper grade, not moving. As you can see, the floor, you know, the whole floor was rotten, so we had to rip this whole floor out. Let me see if I can turn around this way and show you. Because as you remember, there was a wall there, and there was like a bathroom and some closets and stuff like that over there. There was an old like bench, you know, thing there. Ripped all that out, pre-framed all the floor, and the cabinets are still in good condition, so we're keeping the cabinets just as they are. We'll probably paint them, or we might just leave them this wood look finished. But a lot of people like their cabinets to be white, so, you know, we're thinking about the resale value of this camper, you know, because we bought our last camper, you know, that we had for, you know, I think we paid like $1,700 for. It was a big old fifth wheel that I've showed you all in other videos, and we sold it for like, I think, $6,000, and that was a part of how we bought our Woodland property. So this is not the first camper that we flipped, and, you know, we restore them, not to flip them or sell them, but we restore them to live in them, you know, and get farm projects done. But you know, after we're done with it, we go ahead and sell it, you know, and flip it, and then move on to the next project. But all right, so as you saw on the video already, I think depending on how I edited it, but as you've seen on the video already, I've done some electrical, and I disconnected the wires for the air conditioner, and I think the air conditioner, if I'm not mistaken, was on this circuit here. And I disconnected all of that, and so I put labels where, you know, the air conditioner wires go, and I think I'm gonna replace this plug-in wire too, that, you know, where you plug your camper into 30 amp service. I'm gonna replace that wire as well. And but yeah, so right now we don't have air conditioning because we're really going into fall time, but it's already framed out for air conditioning. So when we do decide to put an air conditioner in here, you know, we'll put it right there. And I just have to run the wires, you know, down and behind the refrigerator and off into there. I checked all the wiring on the converter. Like I said, you probably have seen that on the video, but this is the power converter, and the power converter has a plug on it. So let me explain to you all how this works. So the power converter does exactly what the name says. If I can get this unplugged, isn't that tight? Let's see how I just show it to you. So if you see that plug right there, that plug comes from the power converter, and it connects the power converter to this 30 amp breaker service with all the 30 amp wires. And so the power converter is what's active when we're hooked up to just a battery. We're not hooked up to any type of 30 amp service. But when you hook up to a 30 amp service, the power converter has some type of brain in it, you know, device in it, to where it converts the energy from the 12 volt battery, and it switches it over and converts it into 30 amp or 40 or 50 amp or whatever type of current you're using, and that way you can use your like 120 amps and your plugs and things like that. Like I said, I don't know all the technical terms for it. Y'all can type technical terms down in the comment section below. But you know, you can plug in your plugs and things like that. So these big thick white wires are gonna be active, like your plugs and things like that are gonna be active. You know, TV and all those things are gonna be active once we plug into a 30 amp service, and the converter is able to convert it over. But yeah, what else? So we have the roof done. Like I said, I've traced down all these wires. I'm not complete with the electrical yet. I still have some different wires and things like that I need to cap off, and I need to put in my lights and things like that. Like I said, I've kind of traced everything down to see where everything is at. So the next step in the electrical is that I'm gonna get a battery and hook the battery up. And I'll take you out here and kind of show you. But I have that prepped. Let me turn around so you can see. But yeah, so this is where the battery will go. And I have these cables here prepped. And I went over, excuse me. But I went over all of the wiring down here to make sure that everything is hooked up right. And so I have everything prepped for a battery. And the next step is that I get a battery, hook it up, and start testing all of my 12 volt appliances. And I also had to put in this pump here, water pump, and then the holding tank. We got to decide where that's gonna go. But as you can see, things are coming along. I have to, maybe I'll go through the receipts and tell you all how much we spent so far. It's kind of fuzzy. Let's see. There we go. So maybe I'll go through the receipts and tell you all how much we spent so far. But I think it's somewhere around $500 so far on material. And we paid, you know, $250 for the camper. So far on this camper, we're about $700 or $800 in. And next I'm gonna come in after I get done with the electrical. I'm gonna come in and get done checking the electrical. I'm gonna come in and put some plywood up on this roof, and then put the rubber roofing up here. Matter of fact, let me go on the outside and show you a different angle of the roof. See what it looks like from out here. But yeah, next what we'll do is, let me get up here. So as you can see what the roof looks like from up top. So the next thing I'm gonna do is get some plywood, bring it in, and, you know, sheathe the roof, and then we'll put the RV rubber roofing up there and glue that down. And like I say, we'll put some vents, maybe one vent, because it's a small camper. We'll put in a vent and different things like that. We'll probably put in the air conditioner later on. But yeah, so things are looking good. As you can see, got a strong, solid camper now. Here we have a strong, solid camper now. It's not falling apart, and it's amazing, you know, that we're able to do these things because we have no experience, you know, with doing these type things. You know, I've never, you know, did work like this to this extent. You know, our other camper that we had, the fifth wheel, it had rotten spots, but not entirely complete rotten walls, and I didn't completely reframe the floor. You know, I pretty much completely reframed this whole entire camper, and now it's solid and it's ready for me to put a new roof on there, put the roof sheathing on, and then I come in and put some insulation in the walls and insulation in the roof, and then I put the, you know, the inside ceiling of whatever you call it. I don't know what this stuff is called. You know, because I know in the house you use sheetrock, but on the camper I think you use like a Luan board or something like that. So I get that Luan board put on, you know, to finish out the inside walls, and then get the rubber roof on top. But yeah, it's coming along. Like I say, it's a testimony to the Lord, because His wisdom is what's giving us the ability to be able to restore this camper. Because by our own means, our amount of money that we have and all those type things, you know, we wouldn't be able to do this. But the Lord is blessing us and teaching us, because for the things that we have coming up, you know, whether we do a new construction on the property, on the first farm, or whether we, you know, restore the resurrection cabin, you know, either one of those, you know, this camper is training us, you know, to be able to do those things. So yeah, like I said, I'm just doing a lot of talking right now, just showing you all around, but just want to give you all an update on the camper. The wife and the kids, they are down on the farm doing farm chores. I stayed back today because I was so tired from working on the camper and tracing down all the electrical wires today that I stayed back to get a little rest. I think we got a prayer walk this weekend, and we got prayer tomorrow, and got Sunday service on Sunday. So we got like 3 ministry things coming up in the city that we got to do this weekend. So I need to have a little bit of energy going into the weekend. I think today is Wednesday, and so I'm just resting up a little bit after I worked hard this morning and yesterday on the camper. But yeah, so just giving y'all an update, and we'll see what we can get into in the days ahead. And hopefully we'll be able to get a roof on there, get all the electrical figured out, and hopefully by the next video I'll have a battery on there to where I can turn some lights on and show you all that. But it's I.A.G. Farms, it's camper restoration. We'll see y'all in the next one.